Okay, welcome back to the Pick Tribe on air. And again, welcome, Rabbi. I apologize. It's basically
Having technical difficulties.
yeah, it's basically been my fault that we're having the technical difficulties. And I think I have them hammered out now. So, what the hell?
I didn't do it.
No, it's my phone's making like a crazy. That's not the normal sound that it makes. I still don't know why it's making like a disco sound. Apparently, I have to change that. But okay, I'm. Oh, why does it keep going? Oh my god, it's still going.
So
Fuck it, I'm shutting off my phone until I can figure out.
Josh is having issues today.
That's ridiculous. It's like going into like the next step. It'll be like staying alive, which it's not a bad song. I just don't want it playing repeatedly in the background. Okay. Well, it's an awesome song, especially if you're gonna dance to it. But right now, I don't feel like dancing, and if that's gonna happen, I'm fine with it. It's just not over and over and over again. So,
you're not gonna do a striptease for me? Come on.
I'll do a striptease for you later. When we're off the air. Save for you, Jason. I will do.
No.
I will put my nuts on your chin. Well, I know you may think that is a disgusting prospect right now, but you're going to be like, oh my god, sweaty balls.
Yo.
Can't get enough of them. Hairy, sweaty balls.
Yeah.
No, you're already turning off the audience.
Well, since we're turning off the audience, let me try to, like I said, this is about Gamergate, and I know this is the third time we tried this. Let me try to go right into the video that I've been wanting to play, and hopefully it doesn't go into like 20 million screenshots about it to look like it's going into infinity. I don't think that's going to happen now. Okay, I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to go into this. Tell me if you guys can see this, because, well, you would be the ones that could tell me.
Hi there. So this
Can you see it?
video in my series on sexism.
Just your icon.
I'm sorry?
Just your little. Just your Avi.
So you can't actually see what I'm screen sharing?
No.
Flaming fuck. Alright.
No.
Google Hangouts wants to share the contents of Google Hangouts. So choose what you'd like to share your entire screen. Okay. Okay, now it shows me that it's going into millions of. Okay.
Click your browser.
Let me try this.
Oh, I've seen this video.
This video it's not only the video makes so much sense, especially about Gamergate. Can you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I'll go ahead and make it full screen.
Hear what you have to say. I read the comments. I can't read everything, but I appreciate the feedback I get. And when I make a mistake, feel free to call me out. I appreciate it. One of my personal mottos in life is that to recognize that you are wrong is to have learned something. When you see that I made a mistake, let me know. I'll try and add an annotation and correct it. I do appreciate it. I'd also like to say, that I'm not going to close down my comments and feedback.
By all means, talk if you want to talk.
YouTube channels that are out there. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hate that bitch. Feminist frequency.
Wear my rush shirt here, and then a blazer.
Oh, you can't recognize me, damn.
It might help me look a little bit more respectable or something.
But this guy has programmed like 20 to 25 videos or video games himself.
Ooh.
I like the fact that he likes Rush because this is the only song that I actually like by Rush.
Rush.
Now, as a developer, I suspect that I have a perspective on how all that went down. I guess if you're looking for a soundbite, though, I would say that I'm generally supportive of Gamergate as I understand it. With that being said, it's actually a pretty complex issue. So let's get into that for a bit. So the first thing I want to say is that I think the way this all blew up was really way overdue. I really think that this was an issue. Although I think in order to understand that, first we kind of have to discuss how the press and the game industry and consumers all kind of fit together. On the one hand, you've got the game makers. This would include your developers and your publishing houses. And then on the other side, you've got your game players or your game consumers. And then the press is supposed to be kind of...
You should delete those other two videos.
Okay, so if we dig in just a little bit...
I will.
On the game maker side, you've got the development studio itself.
This is the video that we're actually trying to... Those other two videos are bullshit.
And they're the guys who actually make the game. They test the game. They spend all those long hours making it as good as possible. Then you've got the publisher. And the publisher is the organization that fronts the money. They're the ones who invest. They're the ones who have a stake in whatever the development team is building, doing well, so they can get a return on that investment. The publishers are so concerned about getting the money that the publishing houses do. It's the PR team. And the PR team's job is to interface between the publishers and the developers and the press. The PR team is so concerned with making sure that the press gets a favorable sense or a favorable impression of whatever the developers are doing that they treat the press with tremendous reverence. They go to great lengths to make sure that the press is happy, that they think good about the game. And I've seen this a lot in my 20 plus years of game development. Your PR team will set up these grand events and they'll invite all sorts of various press outlets to come and attend. And then they'll try and make them feel really good. They'll give gifts, they'll give food. I actually remember a case where the press team flew out a bunch of journalists to Salt Lake City, Utah. And
is that a man or a bitch?
The thing is we don't actually have to watch the entire video. I think it's 27 minutes long. But we can, go into like 15 minutes.
How do I take this thing off my face?
How do I take what off your face?
It's the little doggy thingy.
Go to Google Effects
Okay.
and get rid of the shit.
Oh. Remove all the effects, okay.
Makes a lot of sense. I think they serve a very important and very necessary role. Stop to think about it. You're on the press side.
The one called LA4. Who is that?
Your review becomes
S. Ban the nigger. Fuck you, monkey. Go back to her. Watch monkey. Tell it. Watch her pussy. Oh, wow.
Tremendous success with an industry that was booming and growing and doing very, very well. Websites.
To me, this is showing like a million different things, but it is showing you guys.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Almost like lords in this. The press was really, really revered. They're revered by the developers. They're revered by publishing houses, and at that time,
Apparently, I need to wash my pussy.
You need to watch your pussy?
Wash my pussy. Somebody said in live chat.
Well, yeah, if your pussy's like rank, yeah, you definitely need to wash it.
No, they're trying to troll.
Oh, there's people in the chat room talking shit.
Yeah. Is that a man or a bitch? Ban the nigger. Fuck you, monkey. Go back to Africa and porch monkey.
Fuck the monkey. The only black person in here is Rabbi. Hey, you know what? They can eat a dick.
And what was it? The other ones.
Oh no, I'm going into our YouTube chat right now just so I can, if I have to, just start banning people. That's what I'm going to do.
I don't care. They can say all they want about me.
Well, they can say what they want, but if I got to ban them, I'm just going to ban them. Especially for calling Rabbi, especially if they're saying, things like monkey and, I know they're not talking about us. They're talking about Rabbi.
Go back to Africa. Porch monkey. What's a porch monkey?
That is a derogatory name for a black person.
What's wrong with Rabbi?
They're upset that he's still like rolling with us.
Oh. What's wrong
because Queen has gone the fuck off. Even though she has more, if you were to look at her, shit.
Why would
Well,
talking
she's
video?
had more shit going on with her like channel than.
Just so you know, I am one of the founders.
Hey.
Are you making cake?
I am, as Josh
This is
Oh
an
my
old
god,
video.
turn that shit off. Turn that shit off, Josh.
No, they can all fuck off. We're all friends.
That's
Oh,
I can't see.
yeah, that's horrible. Well, anyways, this is about Gamergate and the SJWs. Fuck them, just fuck them. I really don't care.
That's what this is all about. It's about Gamergate. If you don't like it, if you don't like what then eat a dick. This is all about Gamergate. If you have a problem, then don't watch.
Hey, Josh, make me a what you call it?
A moderator?
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Okay,
I apologize.
From these press outlets, and they all
Tell the who is S Music? Anyway.
Oh, it's probably one of Queen's fucking.
One of her followers
Mm-hmm.
wants to. Well, Mr. Follower, if you're still in the audience, just go.
For some reason, I'm not finding our chat. Hold on one second.
So they see this stuff going on. And rather than kind of calling out those guys specifically, or rather than even trying to start a discussion with
the older videos
the rest of the gaming industry about what this may mean.
I think I found our chat.
Porch monkey. There's only one watching right now.
Anyway, are like some of those guys at that table.
Okay,
we're of the press. It's a reaction to the press. And the more I thought about how ridiculous it was to approach kind of a small scandal in this manner. Can you imagine if a similar scandal happened in a different industry? Right, suppose the music industry, a lot of guys in that industry.
Wash my pooping.
some woman maybe would have gotten one day all the press outlets came out together and said, rockers are dead. All those rockers, man, they're bad because look what they created. They created this hostile environment
We're cowards.
in rock and roll. Saying
Who's
Man.
cowards?
to your audience regarding video games,
It looks like Charlemagne the
What do you
God
see-
is saying politically incorrect.
cowards don't
Did I read that correctly or no?
Where?
say your core-
Oh.
More
Oh,
racist
oh.
Oh,
crackers?
don't. When I racist crackers. I'm the only white person in here. So being that we're all racist crackers, being that I'm the only white person in here, that makes no sense.
My avatar is just like a cartoon. I kind of look like it, but you know, that's just my prerogative. That's what I do. I mean, I don't make fun of anybody else who like has like a
No,
cartoon.
don't give them. Don't give them anything. Good lord, they're just children.
Yeah, like don't give them any. If worse comes to worse, like I said, we will just ban them.
Well, I mean, we're here to talk about Gamergate. Gamergate, if anybody doesn't know what Gamergate is, it's been going on for the past 2 years. It was started by, God, what was her name?
Zoe
Anita
Kid.
Sarkeesian.
Anita Sarkeesian and the other, who was another woman who was a journalist for one of the gamer.
Oh yeah, this guy actually mentions her.
Oh, look at that bitch. Look at that bitch.
Hey, Coffee, can you do me a huge favor?
Hmm.
Can you send me? Oh yeah, we do have 3 viewers, and I don't know how many of those are racist. Probably all of them.
Oh, I
But-
think we have a good seat or two. Hello,
Can
friends.
you send me? And I'm not saying all of them, but I'm sure a lot of them.
was a consumer-led revolt against the
Can you send me the link to the actual chat room because of the stupidness that I had done before? I can't find it. Just put it in the Just put it in the
Yeah, it's done.
Well, I was just saying, just put it in the screen sharing part.
Oh, Robin, no.
It's if you were to go onto the second button, it says screen or not.
Oh no, I'm looking at something else. Oh, go ahead.
It just says chat. It's the blue chat button.
No, I put it in the Hangouts.
I know. All right, hold on a second.
I mean, there's nobody really saying anything right now. I think it's probably just me and Jason watching right now.
Yeah, but I see more than you and Jason talking.
Oh, well, I don't see anybody else talking.
Why? I don't see more than you and him talking. I see more than you and him viewing.
Oh, I gotcha.
As an oppressor, right, to whatever degree that is, and you confess your demographic market, right? You say, oh, I'm sorry I'm white, sorry I'm male, I'm sorry I'm straight, and then you promise to do better, you promise to have a change of heart, right? You strive to overcome your inherently sinful ways, and you do that by denigrating yourself, putting yourself down, and then elevating others who might.
Who's breathing like that?
Doesn't matter who the person.
Not me.
Religion of identity politics. It's purely your demographic.
You're a white male.
Dropped on the same day. You can see this religion of identity politics, and they're saying this is the solution to the scandal that we see over here. the authors, those press people, were kind of like priests and priestesses of identity. No, I reject your religion. I reject what you're saying about me. And I'm going to push back. I'm going to fight back against anybody who says I have to suddenly buy into your religion in order to be a good person. To me, that's what Gamergate was all about and what it continues to be about. It's a rejection of religion, of identity politics. So what now? Well, on the one side, I think that the press, the mainstream press, has lost a lot of their influence over the gaming industry, especially over what consumers think. They don't trust them like they used to before. A lot of members of Gamergate have said, hey, we don't even want to deal with these guys anymore. The consumer revolt was very successful. They voted with
Who was the other one? Anita's one. I can't remember. Zoe. I think her name was Zoe something.
Hey, yeah. So this guy talks about her.
She's letting a train be run on her.
But not everybody. A lot of people in the press started to recognize, hey, you know, attacking a core demographic, pretty damn stupid. We should maybe try and be more inclusive and talk about, you know, gaming industry as it actually is, which is
Zoe Quinn.
Everybody's got
Yes.
everybody has a good
Oh, I couldn't remember. Oh man, I couldn't remember her name to save my life.
But even more important,
Zoe
and
Quinn.
to me, the beautiful thing that
Yes.
came out of Gamergate is that all these consumers were looking for information from other sources. They started looking to, you know, other gamers for their reviews. They started looking to, you know,
Oh, the one called LA. That guy is a piece of shit.
Oh, who is he?
find out what was really going
He is a white black supremacist.
Oh. Okay.
Block his ass. Ban the nigger. He's talking about Rabbi. I'm gonna go ahead and
Just ban
block
that
his
dude.
ass too. Okay, they're all done.
Where she talked about how Anita
Oh,
writing about games. And it's very insightful. Liana considers herself a feminist, right? But she says, you know, Anita is pushing this feminist ideology that she doesn't agree with. In particular, Anita is pushing kind of a sex negative approach to feminism, which says, you know, women who are attractive are automatically bad in some way, that there's something morally lesser.
And you guys can see the what I'm sharing with you right now.
hmm
Yes.
Anyway, you know, I personally find myself, kind of a side note, sometimes people will say, well, how do you feel about feminism? And it reminds me of the question that Carl Sagan used to get asked. You know, they said, well, Carl, Dr. Sagan, how do you feel about God? And his response was always, well, what do you mean by God? And that's kind of how I feel when somebody says, well, are you a feminist? I always want to say, well, what do you mean by feminism? Because that dictionary definition that comes forward, you know, that, oh, we just want equal rights between men and women. Well, then, yeah, of course I'm in support of that. It's what Dr. Summers would call equity feminism. But then there's that brand of feminism that Dr. Summers calls gender feminism, and what for a while I was calling victim feminism, which sees the world in terms of a grand conspiracy of a patriarchy. That everywhere you look, you have to look through this filter of how is this bad for women, and that identity politics plays this big role, and your demographic is the key thing.
Black King and his girlfriend Lotto. Oh, I'm just reading off what you call it. The titles of our what you call it.
Oh no, I got it. I'm not letting any of those fuckers in here.
So we're at the end here, and I want to wrap this up. It's probably gone on too long. First of all, I would love to know what you think of this different format, rather than me making kind of a series of slides and videos that I just kind of talk to you. Is this better? Is it more engaging for you? And should I continue to do that in the future? I plan on doing more of this, which I would love to hear from you.
Yeah, you definitely have to delete those videos. God, I look awful. Sorry. SCW. What's the live pit?
To open up this dialogue. Now that I'm not working in development, I feel like I can can say whatever I want. Let me know what you guys think. And until we meet again, game on.
Okay. This guy, in case you didn't know, he used to work for Disney in their Infinity department
Mm-hmm.
until Disney closed down their Infinity department. Let me go ahead and stop screen sharing. Click. Not stop broadcast. I don't want to do that. I just want to stop screen sharing. No, I don't want to screen share anymore. Cancel. Am I still screen sharing?
Nope.
Okay, good. Basically, and I apologize to you, Rabbi. I apologize to anybody who's, part of the Pick tribe that people were to come in, like, LA Gamer Radio, and I'm not sure if, Rabbi, you know who that is. He is a 100% black supremacist, and for you to be talking to, I mean, I'm white, Jason's Mexican American, um, God, I can't believe I forgot your name for a second. We got Coffee, who's an Asian American, and for you to have to deal with, being called, like a monkey and things like that, while I shouldn't be apologizing, I do feel like in a certain way I should be apologizing because you should have never had to deal with, their ridiculousness. That is purely, Nikki, Queen. That's her fault. But as we were talking about Gamergate, what do you guys feel when it comes to, the female, like, let's turn video games? Because I myself, I have an Xbox One and I play video games, especially the two that I'm playing right now are Star Wars Battlefront and Killer Instinct. And there are especially in Killer Instinct, not so much in Star Wars Battlefront, but scantily clad women. How do you think Gamergate has gone in the last 2 years? Would you say that it has made absolutely no difference?
Well, I would say that there really hasn't been much of a difference in what we're playing.
Wait, Jason, not to stop you for a second,
Yeah.
but your microphone's like jacked.
Very well.
You might need yeah, thank you. He'll be back in 2 seconds. And his microphone sounds fresh as a daisy.
How about now?
Yes, it sounds fresh as a daisy, just like I was saying. What were you going to
Now,
say?
Before the cis white man cut me off.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
that cis white man was being 100% real, because you sounded
Yes.
like.
Oh my god, I don't want to sound like Chewbacca.
You were. It was beyond Chewbacca.
Thank you, cis white man.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Homosexual Man.
Thank you very much. Now, where was I? Oh yes. So far from what I've seen is there really hasn't been much of a change in content really, we're still playing the same violence women in video games, along with the beautiful men. But what we are seeing now is calling out of bad of bullshit ass campaigns against stuff that just really doesn't need to be addressed, or stuff that out of context or frankly made up.
Had never needed to be addressed.
Exactly.
That's
Well,
the
the thing
way I
is,
look at it.
well, I laugh. I look at it as just somebody that got their ass, or they got butt hurt because somebody didn't want to fuck them anymore. Just my opinion.
Yeah, especially with the two feminists that you were talking about,
Mm.
Anita Sarkeesian, and he mentioned the other lady's name, or something Quinn,
Zoe.
Zoe
Zoe
Quinn.
Quinn.
Well, I read
Yeah.
a couple. I read their articles and stuff like that, and they weren't being the true journalists that they were supposed to be.
Because they're not journalists.
No, they were just screwing somebody to do their. I was telling Jason earlier, women are evil. You just gotta understand that women are evil.
And it's unfortunate that especially Anita Sarkeesian, she got to talk to the United Nations and certain other news outlets about how the video game industry was destroying women, which is obviously hasn't, because it's been a little bit over 2 years, and the video games that that I see and that I play, they're as every bit raunchy as they always were. Even more so, especially if they have an MA rating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the women are, not only half naked. I mean, sometimes they're full on naked. And I'm not a big video game proponent. Like, I'm not like, oh, let's just talk about video games. But I'm very much into don't try to censor. Do not try to censor me. If this is what I want to play and this is what other people want to play, then I'm not for a 12-year-old playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I am not for
Mhm.
that. But if somebody's even if it has a TV, or not TV, but if it has an mature audience rating, and somebody's 15, I really don't give a shit, because I myself, when I was a child, I was playing when they had to first introduce video game ratings because of Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis. My mother and father, they were the first ones in line to buy me a copy of Mortal Kombat, especially
Mortal
because
Kombat. Oh, sorry.
well, yeah, no, I 100%, I'm getting ready to go Technotronic with you and be like dun 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 dun. No, I'm all for that, because it was, the version of Mortal Kombat that had the blood code. Super Nintendo didn't have that. If for instance, a Kano in the Sega Genesis version, during one of his fatalities, he would rip out the other person's heart. And in the Super Nintendo version, it was a gray blob of matter. It just wasn't the exact same thing. Hence why, the Sega Genesis version sold a lot more. But I got your take on it. I got Coffee's take on it. What's your take on it, Rabbi?
Get away from me, first of all.
I'm sorry?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine. We actually hear you better now than we've heard you from other times.
All right. I haven't seen the notice because I'm too busy playing video games. That's how I see it. It's minuscule. It's like a little flea just pressing around. It doesn't matter. Um, some chicks school a bunch of guys. It everything happens. Like spaces, drama. It's all about the game. Really, that's how I see it.
And the thing is I know that you, Rabbi, you play video games. You play them more than I do, and I love. You have a PlayStation 4?
PlayStation 4. Yes.
I have an Xbox One, and I know Coffee. She has an Xbox One. I think Jason has a PlayStation 4, or somebody's family
Yeah.
has one.
I have an Xbox One, and I also have a gaming computer.
Yes, you have both. You have both, Coffee. I have a gaming computer as well, but I don't use my computer to game on. I'm a console like type of guy. So when it comes to like video games, like definitely I will go console over.
This is one of the few times I would have said we need Nighthawk for this topic.
I know this is actually I think Rabbi had even said that earlier. It was like if anybody or Nighthawk would have been like the perfect person for this. And I was like, I'm actually not against that. I definitely wouldn't be against, Nighthawk being, part of this conversation. As ridiculous as he is, and he has, wears his tinfoil hat, like he definitely can talk about, video games, and that's not a problem. I think most of us, like you said,
I think the drama's gone.
the drama's gone. We got rid of, and unfortunately, the last person. And I know I talked to you, Rabbi, and I've said it on many occasions over the last, week. Um, you know, Queen, and I don't want to call her out of her name, Nikki. Just like you were telling me that she had posed a major problem, which I didn't see.
I didn't see it either.
Maybe it's because I'm white, and I just automatically think that women, can do no wrong. But being a black man, you can definitely, at least I'm sure that you can definitely tell when somebody's just being ratchet. And
being a man from the inner city, let's put it that way. I have
well,
to.
yeah, you can definitely tell when somebody's being ratchet or not. I had a hard time understanding that. Jason, obviously, being he's Mexican American, he obviously had a hard time understanding that as well.
Okay,
where you can have from what is considered a normal conversation to like, whoa, you just called me a pedophilic, um, a pedophilic racist, which I'm neither. And, Jason being a quote unquote faggot. So, I mean, I know that's not really it's not really what we're supposed to be talking about. It's more, like I said, the gamergate, but you have and I really don't know if you do or not, but I am going to guess you have a more in-depth like understanding of how black women are, because I love black women. I date black women.
Who has a more understanding of black women?
Rabbi.
Oh,
I have an understanding of how to handle, how to see that situation, and also how to handle, let's say, a feminist. I had a recent little experience with that, but I'll tell you guys about that.
Would you say that when like she asked myself and Jason to come on her show, which I don't even know if it's really considered a show, on her stream or whatever, would you have would you have said, if we had sought counsel, which we didn't, would you have said that was a bad idea?
Um, I
Because
would,
it was a bad idea.
it would go down. It would have gone down bad either way. You have a council, not have a council.
So you're basically saying, with or without the council, it would have gone bad either way, because I mean, well, no, it's not just because. Can you give us the because?
The reason I said that is because based on what I was looking at of the situation transpired. So even with the council, it it could have escalated that situation even worse than what it already presently was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really not.
Would you say that she was like goading, because I know Jason and I thought it was it was all fun and games.
Mhm.
Would you say that she was kind of goading us into a pattern where she was just waiting to pounce on us and call myself a racist and Jason a racist, and
oh God.
it's what happened, Coffee. She went like hardcore on us.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking to my dog. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Because I remember when the shit first happened, you were very much like, what the fuck? And I remember you saying that, and I was like, yo, Queen and Lotto, which that was back when I was using their fake pseudonyms. Now I will say Nigel and Nikki
Well,
were very much like, trying to hurt us in a way that it was like, guys, like, we didn't do anything to you. And yeah, Coffee, go ahead and jump in if you want.
yeah, no, I just, I don't know. That whole situation was kind of crazy, if you ask me. And it's like I told you, I wasn't going to be in it because that was between y'all.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It was between us, and the thing that I think that upset, and I'm not going to speak for you, Jason. I'll speak for myself. Is when she called me a pedophilic racist, because over a year ago, and you guys know this, because you obviously were in the group. Tommy Sotomayor, she had contacted Tommy Sotomayor versus over the telephone, and I was in the background because we were in Google Hangout, and I had said, to Tommy, he could barely hear me, but I had said, stomp the bitch out of you, and he heard that part, but then he said, put the nigga on the phone, and I was, laughing, and over the last year, Quinn and I had made a joke about that. Like, number one, I'm not black, and number two, put the nigga on the phone is not something that it was just like, come on, Tommy, fuck off. And for Jason, it was, she didn't say anything. She was never really saying anything bad about him until, quote unquote, the battle rap.
Yeah.
And then she went on and was calling him a faggot, and that his religion wouldn't even accept him. And it came to me like, you know what? You claim to be a Muslim, Queen. Nikki, same with you, Nigel. I lived in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. If those two were in Saudi Arabia, they would be stoned to death because there's absolutely no way those two are Muslims.
Well, yeah, that's a religion I don't know about, and frankly,
Well, I know a lot about that religion, being the fact that I lived in Saudi Arabia. And I know those two. Would never ever be even in the same. Like I said, stoned to death. Not even close to what they consider a Muslim to be. I mean, calling yourself a Muslim is one thing. Actually living the lifestyle of a Muslim is completely different. So that's why, I came to, when I was watching the chat, that's why I was upset with the way they were talking about you, Rabbi. Calling you, all sorts of things out your name because, to me, you're one of the most valuable members of our group. And I don't speak for myself. I think everybody speaks for you, and we think that you are a fantastic human being.
Aw, the coin.
Yeah, but coffee, you understand that as well. Rabbi is one of our. He's one of our OGs.
What? Original. Oh.
Original gangsters. Like there's no way that anybody should be talking about Rabbi the way, especially as far as as in depth as Rabbi goes into.
When were they, Rabbi? They were talking about you.
Well, they were calling him a porch monkey.
When?
In the chat room. Those are the people I had to ban.
Oh, was that them?
Yeah. They weren't talking about me. They were talking about Jason. They weren't talking about you. When somebody says the word porch monkey, they're not talking about anybody who's of the any other color than, black.
Oh.
Like, you've never heard the word porch monkey before?
I'm one of these people. I hear these terms and stuff like this all the time. I guess it goes in one ear and out the other, mainly because as a
Oh,
beauty.
I've heard the word porch monkey before, and it's definitely not talking about any color than somebody who's black.
Yeah.
But
Well,
here's the thing. Here's the way I look at it: is Rabbi, he hates beef, and Rabbi could give a flying fuck. At least that's the way I feel. Is Rabbi could give a flying fuck what people have to say about him. Because Rabbi knows. I mean, at least that's the way I look at it. Anyway, I'm not speaking for you, Rabbi. At least I'm trying not to. You don't really give a shit what people have to say about you.
No, I live life. I don't have time for it.
Yeah. That's the way we're all. That's the way we're all trying. I mean, Coffee. Nobody said anything bad about you yet, but they've said bad things about Jason. They've said bad things about me, and we're trying to just brush that shit off our shoulder like we don't give a shit.
I think we should all just kind of brush it off our shoulders. I mean, and this is being the mom and me, trying to find a happy medium.
I mean, we're sitting here trying to do a show on Gamergate, and we have some assholes in the chat room, and they're not even attacking me. They're not attacking Jason. They're not attacking you. They're attacking Rabbi because he's black and he's,
Well, this is something that a lot of people
in the same room and talking with us.
Well, this is something a lot of people don't realize about Rabbi. Rabbi is a very and Rabbi, you can verify this for me. He is a very educated man. He
very educated.
If I'm correct, Rabbi, you were doing a lot of research on Black history and trying to put a lot of pieces together. You're putting a humongous jigsaw puzzle together.
It's me and another team of Black researchers. We do research.
And a lot of the stuff, and if anybody listens to any of the chats that we've had, Rabbi and I are both kind of. His is more of the Black history, mine's more of the Asian history because hello, I'm
and mine's of the more white history. Jason's is more of the Mexican American history.
No, it's Native American. He's Native American. Just
Jason is there might be a very small percentage of them that's Native American, but
it might be bigger than I thought. I'll check for y'all.
No, but I get it. Like Rabbi in particular would definitely be focused on African American or Black history.
Well, see, Rabbi and I have gotten together, and we've sat here and talked, and we've actually made some connections with the the African history of people from the west coast of Africa that made their travels across the Indian Ocean and the other big ocean on the other side over there, over to the east, the Asian areas. If you look at the pictures of Mongolian people and you compare them to some of the Southwest Africans, there's a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
And Rabbi, I believe you actually came up with some documentation of the travels.
Yes.
Of the southwestern African people who had made their way across to the oceans, and if you look at ancient pictures of Korean people and Japanese people and God knows how many other people that's over in that area.
Lots of people. Lots, yeah.
Lots of people. You look at the facial structure and the facial similarities, because Rabbi looks more on the research, and I look more on the anthropology, the bone structure, and the of people, and the facial bone structures of people.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Rabbi and we were just talking about yesterday. It comes down to, regardless if we have differences of opinions or not, I still respect everything that Rabbi says, and I believe that he respects what I have to say as well. We might not agree on everything.
Oh no, we don't agree on everything.
No, well, no, nobody. I mean, we're not like complete academics, so we're not going to agree on everything.
Well, even academically, we're not going to. I mean, scientists have a hard time agreeing with each other, They want to debunk any new type of findings there is. It's, whatever. You got to do your own research. It's like this whole Gamergate thing, They were trying to pull this shit of, back to the topic at hand.
And that's what the topic was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be about Gamergate.
Okay, I followed it for probably about 2 or 3 weeks just to see what was going on. And when I realized what it was really about, I started doing more research. And I think this was probably about 4 or 5 months back. Because I kept on hearing, Gamergate, and then I started hearing SJWs. I'm like, what the fuck is an SJW?
Yeah, that's right. You were late with the whole SJW thing.
I was sitting going, what the hell is this? Oh, I mean, I know about feminists. I mean, that shit's been around forever, and I call them feminazis. And then
Which they are.
So I started doing a lot of researching, reading articles. I'm like, oh my god, these people are idiots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And when I saw the articles on how they were trying to go in on gamers, I said they're not going to be able to do that because you're talking about creative people. You're not gonna. There's way too many people, whether they're male or female. They're gonna say, you ain't fucking with this. You can take that political, or what is it called, identity politics.
That is exactly what it is. Identity politics. If you could do me a favor, Coffee, if you could type something into the chat room, I can make you a moderator. That way, that's way if somebody, yeah, okay, I got you. That way, if somebody goes ridiculous like they were going before, there we go. I've just had you as a moderator.
I mean, identity politics is basically what's been going on lately, and y'all know my opinion on mainstream news and mainstream media. They're nothing but liars. And, this is my message to anybody that is out there listening or that watch our show, or if you want to take this out and pass it out. Think about the fact that these people who are right now, these actors and singers, they're trying to shove shit down your throat on identity politics and stuff like that. Remember, these are professional liars. They act in movies.
That's their job. Yeah.
This is what they do. They are professional liars.
Like when I was talking to Jesse. He hasn't joined, which is fine. That's not a problem. She's the one that goes by Yessie. It's the way her name's pronounced. Her name's pronounced Jessie, but it goes by Yessie. She was saying that one of the things that she can't stand was when the word nigga or nigger is said, and we just went through before I had to go on and delete these messages. We had a whole bunch of people calling Rabbi these horrible things.
Oh, they tried to throw in chink in there too.
Oh yeah, they ended up getting deleted as well.
Well, it boils down to the fact that we live in a melting pot. Okay, if you
What I don't
go,
understand though is, especially we live in this melting pot, how people, and I understand, I can definitely understand why, people can't get along, but I don't understand why people, especially behind a keyboard, they're more than happy to say the sort of things they would never say in real life.
I
See,
mean, if
the,
they,
the, the things that I would say are the things that I would say to somebody's face.
yeah. Well, I can say this much: it's I'm hoping beyond I'm praying, you know, that this identity politics will start fading away and we actually start dealing with the real issues at hand, on what's wrong with this country. Um,
Absolutely.
if anybody has ever heard of a guy named AD, I just actually came across some of his videos, and he's actually, you know, a hood brother that is, he's tired of it. He says we need to stop listening to these politicians and start fixing our own lives.
Yeah.
Uh, and more people are trying to say, stop listening to the politicians, because guess what? No matter what you say or what you think, it's exactly what's happening. Somebody is paying somebody to get you to pull you into politics. Is what they are doing,
To a complete ridiculousness. And
and
here's the thing.
that's what they tried to do with the gaming community.
I know.
Because
I
I
know.
read the articles and I'm sitting here going, somebody tried to get someone to
That
pull
was
the
the
gamer community.
SJWs.
Yeah,
The
to get the
SJWs tried to destroy gaming and it didn't happen.
no,
They
it's not
tried.
going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen. If
Absolutely not.
you're going to get sexually harassed on the gaming community, guess what? I've been in the MMO gaming community. It's called you can block these people.
It's exactly the way I feel is if somebody like really going after you because you're a female and you like playing, quote unquote Call of Duty, then, mute the motherfucker. They don't play absolutely no like significant role in your life.
Yeah, they just this is the gaming community. If you are having problems because somebody outside the gaming community has been hitting on you or sexually abusing you or whatever, then something, deal
Harassing.
with it.
Yep.
Yeah, or harassing you, then deal with it. Go the
There are
fuck on.
steps you can take.
You know, I'm 40. I'm gonna be 42 this year. Yes, I'm a female. And I'm telling my age. Just so you
That's okay. No, I am glad that you are.
know. And I grew up in the South, and as an Asian girl in the South, it sucks. I'm gonna tell you
No,
that.
that's actually completely understandable, especially you being in the South and being
Um,
Asian. It's probably it's more difficult than being black in the South or being white in the South. Being Asian in the South, where there's not a whole lot of Asians in the
well,
South.
there's a Korean family that lived down next to me, and this is where at one point in time that I was really into the history of Korea and stuff like that. And you sit here and you listen to these SJWs, the ones that are trying to bring the gaming community into it and stuff like that, to these politics. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get the government involved in everything.
Which
Well,
the government wants absolutely no part of it.
yeah, in the gaming community, you're not going to win this one.
The
You know,
gaming
it,
community wants no part of it.
no, no, because this is. I will tell you right now, as a gamer, because or a former hardcore gamer, because I would play the MMO games, Final Fantasy, Star. Star Trek.
Yeah, but you and I, we still play video games. It may not be as hardcore as it once was, but we still play video games.
But but what I'm saying is this is a fantasy world, and you're not gonna tear up my fantasy world. I don't care when am I wrong in saying this, Rabbi or Jason? I don't know if you play games, Jason.
I do. I really do.
Yeah, Jason plays games. He has a PS4. He plays with his sisters. And
well, I know
And of course,
Rabbi plays it. I know Rabbi plays it.
Rabbi plays his video game too.
But this is our escape world. This is our escape from reality. And there's not going to be anything PC about it.
That's being that you said that. That's actually one of the most it's like a prevalent thing. Just the other day, I was playing Killer Instinct on my Xbox, and I'm a novice to Killer Instinct. Like, it was one of the free games with gold.
Yeah.
That I downloaded, so I got Killer Instinct for free. And I'm not great at Killer Instinct, but the person that I went on a the multiplayer, and I happened to beat the person that was level 15. I'm level not even level 1. I'm level half of 1. But I happened to beat them, and they went on, I would have to say, maybe a 20 message tirade about how horrible I was. And it's like, well, wait a second, dude, I just beat you. I'm the one that beat you. So finally, what I had to do is I had to mute and block that person, because they just couldn't grasp the fact that I beat them.
Yeah. Well, what saddens me is it's, they knew they couldn't go after, books, because you're talking about millions upon millions of people. Be like, oh no, fuck you.
Right.
No, you aren't going after the books. So the next thing that they want to try to go after was the games. And what I find funny is, I bet you more than anything, they didn't expect to get the pushback that they got as far as the gaming community goes.
And some people, when it comes to games, not some people, most people are so childish. I don't care if they're 50 years old and they're a gamer. The level of childishness just plays a ridiculous part.
Well, and, it's kind of like, because I watched some of the inauguration. I didn't watch it all. I actually watched it through, I think it was Rebel Media.
Yeah, I ended up watching the whole thing. Don't get me started on that.
Oh my! I know you don't like Trump, so
Well, it wasn't so much I didn't like Trump. I just didn't like the inauguration. I thought the picture that he painted of the United States was very bleak.
Okay.
And it was like, dude, come on, no president in the history of presidents has ever said we are at the precipice of the most horrible, and that's not the way I look. That's not the way I view America.
Well, yeah, well, okay. I like this speech personally, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I'm going.
When he said we were just a horrible country, I'm more of an optimist. I'm more of we're not a horrible country.
Okay. Anyways, moving on. No, I'm talking about because I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched the footage on what was going around, and they actually have footage of one of these feminists. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make fun of this chick for the rest of my life.
Go ahead. I hate feminists.
She was sitting out at the inauguration, and when she heard the inauguration, she just started screaming, "Oh my god!" Of course.
Oh, I saw that.
No,
I saw
see, I
that.
hate, I hate that. See, that's the thing.
And
When I watched the inauguration, I was like, I was sick to my stomach over the things that he was saying, but I wasn't, um, like they have referred to, and Jason, you might know who I'm talking about more than, and even Rabbi, you might know, and no offense to you, Coffee, you may just be a little bit older. Do you know who Triggly Puff is?
yes, I know who Triggly Puff is from.
Triggly Puff is the feminist that people that when they make fun of feminists, that's the person that they kind of make fun of because it's like you are the absolute embodiment, especially when because she was the one when Milo Yiannopoulos was doing
Yes,
just a speech.
with Caroline Cummings and Richard, Steven Crowder or Louder.
Yeah, she was the fat. When I say fat, I mean she was the like 350-pound woman that was like no more. She was. That's the reason she got the name Triggly Puff. It was like you are fucking insane. It's not. That's not how normal people act.
No, not in my book.
So as much as it sickened me when I was watching Trump's inauguration, I wasn't sitting back doing the Triggly Puff thing, which I don't think anybody was doing the Triggly Puff thing. Maybe Triggly Puff was doing the Triggly Puff thing. Like I don't even think this bitch has a name anymore. I just think she's known as Triggly Puff.
Oh, y'all, that poor girl's probably gonna go, get all depressed and stuff because everybody's making fun of her.
I hope she does. Have you've seen the video of her like going like absolutely nuts? Like I hope she goes fucking insane. I hope she, I don't want to say I hope she commits suicide, but I hope she sees the errors of her way and realizes
Loses some weight. Oh, sorry, did I say that?
definitely loses like 200 pounds easy. And then she'd still, if she loses 200 pounds, then she'd only weigh 200 pounds. But she, it's one of those, as much as like I couldn't stand Trump's inauguration and what Trump was saying, I don't think that taking it to an extreme like that, like I had said before, I'll give the guy 100 days. As far as his inauguration, yeah, I was upset because I think he painted a pretty bleak picture of the United States, and I don't think that's what the United States is about. I think that we are a very strong nation. But, Triggly Puff, on the other hand, would have, you believe that Trump is the Antichrist, and I don't think that he is the Antichrist. Do I think he's ill-informed? Yeah. But I don't think he's the fucking Antichrist.
Well, journalism is nothing what it used to be anyway, so.
Well, yeah, journalism hasn't been journalism since probably the 1970s, when Walter Cronkite, stepped out. So basically, the way that I look at it is when it comes to Gamergate, I could, give a flying fuck what SJWs have to say about this, that, or the other thing. You know, it's not going to stop me from playing video games. It's not going to stop video game developers from making sexually provocative characters because, you know, number one, the way it is right now is 50% of gamers not only are guys, but another 50% are women too, and they are very much, you know, the same kind of women that love they love their anime. And let's not get it twisted when it comes to anime. How do you think women are depicted in anime? You know, they're wearing their short skirts when they do their karate kicks. You're seeing their ass and you're seeing their underwear. It's just the way it is. Like Jason, you're a big anime fan. I'm a big anime fan, but for you, just to go off on to let you say something for a 2nd.
Mhm.
How's anime in this day and age, in all days and age?
Anime in this day and age is great. We are going through a great boom. Everything is going good. And what you said about the representation of women, yeah, we do get to see, of course, exaggerated body portion. Also for the
Like
fans, and I
with women with giant like triple D boobs.
correct. Yeah, and here's where the SJWs and Anita Sarkeesian messes up. She made a video about like butts in games, and then she also said that we can't see men's butts in games because they're always covered or the camera always goes up quickly.
Oh,
and
the butt tropes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But the same thing can also be applied in anime. There are, and I'm guilty of watching these kinds of shows. There are that show beautiful men swimming, men ice skating in anime, and it's all for the fans.
And the thing is I can go on a large demographic of where men's asses in video games
Mhm.
are very prevalent. It's Anita Sarkeesian cherry picked. And that's what she's very big on doing. Is she's big on cherry picking.
And she's always cherry picking stuff that wasn't even there to begin with, or stuff that's really exaggerated. Speaking of exaggeration, I think we ought to talk about the Law and Order episode. That really needs to be addressed.
I know you had said something about that before. By all means, go on, man.
Okay. Well, this was at the very height of Gamergate. Maybe around the end of 2014, going into 2015, they did an episode that really made a horrible depiction of video gamers. They made video gamers out to look like freaking ISIS. Honestly,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was so
we're all to destroy the.
yeah. It was so inflated. It's so over exaggerated, and just like kind of bad. Again, this was made in haste of current events. And the cherry on top of the ice cream was when they kidnapped the girl that they abused in the gaming convention's bathroom. They set it up like it was an ISIS video. Like they had their heads covered with ski masks. She was in front of a video. They had the poor camera quality. Again, hyperinflation, just overall a bad image for the gamer community. And of course, people weren't happy with this depiction.
Because that's how we are, man. If I got to break it down, if I see a chick that is pretty hot, I'm going to put a bag over her head, and I'm going to put her in a bathroom, and I'm going to commit atrocities to her, all because of video games.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost makes me sick. And Rabbi, like I know you play video games, and of course, you have to be the same way. When you see a woman, in a video game, you automatically have to say, I'm going to toss a bag over her head and toss her into a bathroom and do unspeakable acts to her because, hey, the video game told me so.
That's of the individual where do their action goes. The video games cannot necessarily be the blame for those types of acts. If one were to go that route, you might as well blame commercials, you might as well blame music, any form of entertainment for that matter.
Well,
No, and I agree. And I don't mean to cut you off, Coffee. I absolutely agree with that. If you're going to, blame one form of entertainment, you might as well blame all forms of entertainment.
yeah. Well, it was my thing on the whole thing.
It kind of makes you sick to your stomach.
Okay, see, here's my whole thing. Right now, I think there are people like the one percenters or whatever you call them, the elite, that have their hands dabbled into people who have influence in others. I don't know if you read my post on Facebook that I put up earlier.
I did, yes.
And I'm just, other than the Star Wars movies, which I can't help because it's Star Wars.
Exactly. I'm the same way. It's Star Wars. It's Star Wars. I can't hate on Star Wars.
Yeah, I can't hate on Star Wars, but as far as watching stuff off of the mainstream channels, which is ABC, NBC, and what's the other one?
ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox.
And Fox. They just won't get any of my time. If I see something, it'll have to be off of some type of alternate media channel that I watch, and I watch a whole lot of them. If you go look at my my list of how many channels I'm subscribed to, I'm subscribed to a little bit of everything.
Yeah, like you said, you're subscribed to the Rebel Media, and I will say one thing about the Rebel Media is 99% of the Rebel Media I can't stand. The only person that I actually like on the Rebel Media is that one chick that will go to like a feminist rally where women are saying we live in a rape culture, and the woman will stand up and say, "No, we don't."
Yeah,
that's the woman on the Rebel Media that I actually like. I don't like the main guy. The main guy, he could kiss my ass. But I like the woman that will sit back and be like, we don't live in a rape culture. Well, we live in the West.
If you go on and if you look at my subscriptions, I am subscribed to a lot of things. Whether they're atheists or they're, and I know some of them you don't like, but that's okay. It's your own personal.
Yeah, everybody has their own opinion.
And a lot of my news I get off of them because they're making fun of the mainstream media because I refuse to watch any of the mainstream media.
I know it's like you like to watch InfoWars, and I don't know how much you like to watch like Alex Jones.
Oh, Alex
Jones is out of his fucking mind.
Alex Jones gets on my nerves, but I liked the actual what you call it. Oh God, I can't think of his name. I'm subscribed to one of them. I think I'm subscribed to all of them. Maybe because sometimes
David Pac-Man, on the other hand,
I'm subscribed to him.
Yeah, he is a liberal, like a 100% liberal.
Oh yeah, he is liberal.
But he will, if you are a if you are a conservative,
Mhm.
like he'll have you on the show,
Mhm.
and he won't talk down to the person who is a conservative.
Yeah. Well,
And that's one of the things that I like about David Packman.
a lot of
Like he will actually sit back and listen
yeah.
to what they have to
And
say.
there are a lot of the people, a lot of Jones's reporters who he's hired, they're like that. They'll actually talk to people. They're not going to sit here and down, or degrade somebody because they don't agree with them. They'll actually get in a what you call a debate, where you argue your point, but you're not sitting here screaming. That's what annoys me about Alex Jones. Is he starts screaming at everybody. I'm like, okay, there's no need for all that.
And that's why I can't stand him. It's
There's no need for all
especially
that.
he when he talks, his jowls like they start going off. It's like, Alex, you lost me when your jowls started, flapping.
But I mean, I do like a lot of the people that do work for him, and their content is really good. And they'll ask, they go,
No, there's one guy that works for Infowars, and it's not Alex Jones. It's another guy, and I can't remember his name. That I actually,
Is he British?
I don't have a problem with.
no, not him, because he gets kind of annoying too. Paul Watson. If you watch some of Paul Watson,
No, he's very skinny. Well, not very
He's such a
skinny,
cutie,
but
though.
he's skinnier.
let's see.
He has like a goatee, and he can actually sit back and actually have a conversation about current events that.
Oh damn! You or the Resistance has been banned. Holy shit!
Well, that's the thing that's going to happen with Alex Jones. If he doesn't, calm the fuck down on his rhetoric.
Oh well, I mean, his other channel's still up, but
It's the way I go with like Glenn Beck. I can't stand Glenn Beck. I really can't stand Glenn Beck. And I definitely can't stand Tommy Loren, who is part of, his channel or whatever. But he did I would say the smart thing when he created his own website versus just having a channel on YouTube. I think he probably did the smart thing because he can't get taken off of YouTube as a lot of Alex Jones could get booted off of YouTube in a second.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people tried to shut down Alex Jones, but he's got too large of a viewing now.
I agree. The same thing that was said about Mr. Tommy Sotomayor. He had said, and he had thought that his viewing population was way too high, and this guy has had more channels shut down than.
Well, I mean, Alex actually has. I mean, because Tommy tried to get on with Alex. I remember they actually did an interview together, and I think Tommy wanted to actually be in more on what Alex was doing because Alex has become.
Well, he is way bigger than Tommy.
Oh God, he's humongously bigger than Tommy.
Tommy's a nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
RT is the other one that I listened or I watched.
I love RT. Don't to get confused with I can't stand this or that. You and I, we both love RT, and RT is actually a very liberal.
Yes, it is. It's very liberal. And, for the audience that watches our shows, anybody in this group will tell you, I am a conservative.
But you can get down with the liberal media if they make sense.
Yeah, it's called, open debate. And this is where I'm getting so mad at the universities because they're shutting down debates.
I agree.
They're shutting down debates.
It's the way, like, I have listened, and on more than one occasion, I've listened to Alex Jones, and why I may not agree with what he has to say,
hmm
and there's a great part of me that thinks, "Hey, the guy's insane."
hmm
Like, I will still listen to what he has to say, and again, like I said, I'll be like, "Whoa, this guy's fucking nuts."
But
But I will sit back and I will listen to RT and
mhm,
watch RT
mhm.
and be like, "Yo, these guys know exactly what the fuck they're talking about."
Well, I
And,
remember RT whenever they were just a small little network.
and they've
Um,
gotten a lot bigger, and the reason they've gotten a lot bigger is because they expose, the corruption, and they use and they talk about and I'm sure you've seen this yourself. They talk about Anonymous, the hacktivist group
mhm.
that go, and being that they're a hacktivist group, they will, destroy, being that you're a conservative, a liberal, they go after whoever. And
Yeah.
RT plays that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just I wish people would realize that you cannot you can no longer trust news, and they've got to, or the mainstream news, and they've got to change something because they are not being, what you call it.
Well, they're not being forthright,
No.
and it comes to the point where, like, I don't, unless it's and I will say I watch, not always, but I do watch, like, NBC, ABC, CBS. Like, I'll watch their half-hour news broadcasts.
Mhm.
It's only because during those broadcasts, all they do is talk about the news.
Mhm.
But I refuse, especially in this day and age, because of what has been going on. I refuse to watch, like, MSNBC. I refuse to watch, like, Fox News. Well, I've always kind of refused to watch Fox News,
Mhm.
but I don't. It's because of the bullshit. Like, I refuse to watch MSNBC because of the BS. I refuse to watch, like, CNN because of the BS. Like,
Yeah.
I am only into, like, the half hour, like, news broadcasts,
Well, I start losing.
and especially when I will watch my local news as well,
Yeah.
because they have no agenda one way or the other. They're just talking about what's going on in your local news.
Today in local news.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you watch your local news, they have no agenda.
I'm sorry.
And no, I laugh. I laugh as well, but I mean, the last
Well,
time you watched your local news, did they lead one way or the other? They were just doing nothing but, talking about what's going on in your area.
oh, I don't remember shit.
I do. Every time I watch the local news, it's all about, what's going on in my area.
I haven't
And
watched local news. Well, you see, okay, there's a reason why I mean, I haven't watched any kind of news for a very long time, and y'all have to understand. Part of the reason why I stopped watching news completely. The first time that we went to Iraq, or our country went to Iraq, which was shit, 17
and
years
then
ago.
yeah,
17.
and that makes sense
Well,
because your husband's in the military.
Yes, and there were a lot of lies that were being portrayed back then.
Mm-hmm.
And because, when I talked to my husband and, we were talking about this and I showed him, this is what I was getting, and he goes, do not ever watch the news again because it's nothing but a bunch of lies. They're not telling anybody what's really going on over there.
I agree.
And they're making us out to be,
murderers.
And what a lot of people don't realize is there were a lot of times, there were several areas where our soldiers were stationed, and there would
Especially
be people in cars and
on
little
somebody in a Humvee is driving down, a street in Baghdad, and they're, if they don't, it came to until I think it was a major that finally spoke up that said, why don't, the Humvees have the same kind of protection that, all other military vehicles have, because Humvees were getting blown to shit.
Yeah.
Because of improvised explosive devices.
And it was kind of ridiculous.
And that hurt that major. That major, it didn't make him popular.
No, and this is why I told Eric. I said, okay, well, fine. I won't watch the news. It wasn't until just recently that I actually was like, okay, I'm gonna click on the news, and I don't know, some chick with really short hair was talking all kinds of shit.
She seemed like a lesbian, and
yeah,
I'm not going to, crack on women, but when you're a woman and and Jason, I'm not, dogging on, homosexuals, but when a woman has like really dyked up hair and she's wearing a pantsuit, it's more than likely she's a lesbian. Like Rachel Maddow.
Probably.
Like Rachel Maddow, like she eats the pussy.
And the way, see, what made me mad about her is the way she was just. I was sitting here and I was looking at her, going, "Well, Hillary is such this wonderful person." I'm going, "Huh?"
Well, she's not. Hillary. The thing is, like, I voted for Hillary. And the reason I voted for Hillary is because I couldn't stand Trump.
Yes, we know.
But
stand Trump, but that's okay.
I definitely, if I had, all the power in the universe, I would snap Trump's neck and then strap, or I would snap Pence's neck, and then afterwards I would snap Paul Ryan's neck. But I don't have that power.
Don't forget about Giuliani.
Jason, you would be right on my side. You would snap their necks too. But
no.
the thing is, Jason, I'm not to speak for you, but if you had that power, would you or would you not just go ahead and snap their fucking necks if you had the ultimate power?
Hell yeah! First, I want to get rid of Rudy Giuliani, because I'm tired of looking at his shriveled
ugly ass, shriveled ass fucking face. Yep,
stupid looking face, and then I destroy the bitch who wants to be the educational head person.
I'd have to agree with you on that one.
And get rid of and one of the people that I would definitely want to get rid of is Ed O'Bannon, who is a white nationalist. It's like, guy, Trump, I can't believe you actually appointed this man. It would go back to like if Obama, when he was elected, is if he had appointed a Black Panther as one of his major it wouldn't have flied. It wouldn't have flied back in 2008, and I don't believe it flies in 2017. So let's be bipartisan here, and let's get rid of the white nationalists, just like Obama didn't put Black Panthers in charge of his cabinet. So the way I look at it is it falls under the realm of, I mean, if you look at the cabinet picks that Trump has picked so far, minus Linda McMahon, and I have no problem with Linda McMahon. The only thing that I have a problem with is that she's the appointment to the Small Business Administration. And I'm sorry, Linda McMahon is not anywhere near the small business, because she was CEO of WWE. Her husband is chairman of WWE, and they have hundreds and hundreds of employees. So it is very much, to me, like, why would you put somebody that's in charge of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of employees as the small business secretary? Because she's not that person. As much as I like Linda McMahon, because I love the McMahon family, I'm a big, huge fan of WWE. But I think she definitely is the wrong choice for that particular cabinet situation.
Well,
She's
I don't keep up with it like the way you do, Josh.
Oh, I know, I do. I keep up with it like it's going out of style. And it's not going out of style. I keep up with it like it's not like it's going out of style. I keep up with it because it's actually what's going on right now.
Yeah. Well, I just, after the inauguration and then seeing all the whiny babies cry about the whole, him being inaugurated, I'm like, okay.
But
it's over.
That's the thing, Coffee. It's not so much that they were being crybabies. Like, if you were to check Obama when he was inaugurated, there was basically sitting room when he was inaugurated. When Trump was inaugurated, there was seats upon seats available for that man to be inaugurated. Like, nobody showed up. It was actually funny because the next day, when women, marched on Washington, there was
stupid.
You may think it's stupid, but there were twice as many women that showed up for to march on Washington than showed up for Trump's inauguration.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and bash the man because, one, he is my husband's commander-in-chief. I can't.
He is your husband's commander-in-chief, but what about if he makes some really poor decisions?
Well,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of presidents that made some poor decisions, but
We have.
the thing
Absolutely.
is what a lot of people don't realize is he is not the one I am worried about. I could care less, to
But
be honest with you.
he's the guy. He
He's
is the
not the one
commander
I'm
in
worried
chief.
about. He's not the one I'm worried about. I am worried about the administration. All right, those are the ones I worry about because those are the ones.
You're talking
No,
about the Republican administration.
I'm talking about the entire
Not,
administration.
not the,
I'm talking about all the House and all the Senate because you have to understand,
but
as corrupt as
right
the
now,
government is. No, you have okay. Hold on just a second. As corrupt,
but who's in charge of the administration right now? It's not the Democrats.
but
It's
look
the
at all the shit that went behind Obama's back that he didn't realize that was going on. And
Well, I believe he did know what was going on. He just didn't have, a he didn't have a
but I
Congress
mean,
that could back
asking
him up.
one man. You're asking one man to try to be in charge of how many fucking people? I mean, it's not just. It's just not the Congress and the Senate. I mean, Josh, this. We're talking about a whole combination of things that's going on here. We're talking about the FDA. We're talking about the what you call it, freaking the IRS. All of it. It's all connected, and this is where we're running, and our government is too big and it's gotten way too corrupt. I'm sorry, I do not agree with you. I will not agree
No,
with you on this one because
that
the president.
that's the thing. Coffee, and I don't want to get into an argument with you. Like the last thing I want to do because you and I are friends.
Oh yes, no, and this is one
So
thing. This is one thing.
the one thing that I will say is that the people that Trump has appointed to these ridiculous cabinet positions
Mhm.
are people that are very anti the cabinet positions. Like he's appointed, somebody, to the EPA that's thinks the EPA should be gone. He has appointed somebody to, the just Rick Perry, just for an example, who had absolutely no idea that the Department of Energy actually dealt with the nuclear, launch codes. And I can't believe he actually appointed Rick Perry. Like Rick Perry's a fucking dumbass. Let's be real. I mean, Rick Perry is not the smartest man in the world.
Yeah. Well, this is one topic that we're. I don't think that ever.
No, I mean, coffee. You kind of have to. I mean, if you look up Rick Perry's record, you'll be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that he was appointed." The Secretary of Energy.
No, well, that's one. I know who you're talking about now. That's one that me and my husband both actually agreed on. Rick Perry shouldn't have been. But the thing is, him, I'm not worried about. To be honest with you, I'm not worried about him.
The guy that is in charge of the nuclear arsenal. I mean, he may not have the codes, but he's the guy that's in charge of, overseeing, the nuclear arsenal. When Obama was president, the guy that he had chose who was in charge was a physicist, and Rick Perry he's far from a physicist. Rick Perry is not a smart guy, and just because he started wearing glasses doesn't make him any more smarter than he was before. So there are some fundamental flaws in Trump's cabinet appointments.
Well, there were flaws, and there's flaws in every cabinet. This is why I'm saying it's not just the president; it's the entire system. The entire system's screwed. And
I agree. I agree.
And I'm not going to sit here and knock a man that I can't sit here and knock a man that managed to that everybody laughed at him. You know, everybody
Uh,
laughed at him,
and
and he made it.
that's the thing, and I think in 4 years, I think that he will not win again because he has not only been laughed at, it's the cabinet positions that he has made when he has said that he was going to drain the sewer, and you know, when it comes to his positions, the 1/3 of his cabinet positions hold, 99% of the nation's wealth.
Holy shit! There's Nighthawk. He's late.
That's horrible. I mean, if you're supposed to be, speaking for the quote unquote common man, and you have a person that's saying that, I'm speaking for, the man in the Rust Belt, the man in this, that, or the other thing.
I thought you were a big Trump supporter there, Nighthawk.
Did you call me Nighthawk?
No, he's on. He's in the chat.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on a second.
Don't you dare.
Nighthawk has not been a. Oh, I see him. We're screwed, but the floodgates to hell are beginning. More protests coming. Mark my words. Yes, coffee. It is. I glad to hear y'all talking about this. Hey, Nighthawk.
The protests have been happening for years, Nighthawk. There's always going to be a protest about something.
Nighthawk, I'm not going to full blown add you back into the Pick Tribe, but if you want to come here and you want to talk about it, I'll be more than happy to add you. If you're cool with that. No, I was just joining the bandwagon for the country folks. If you want to join in, I will be happy to add you, man.
Ooh, it brings us back to a year ago.
It definitely will bring us back to a year ago.
Well,
but Nighthawk.
Well, we're both passionate about our beliefs and things like that. So
I know, and that's what I have to say. We're completely and not completely opposite because there are a lot of things that we do agree on. But there are things that we don't agree on, and we could still be friends. Like we can have a friendly debate.
Something, I don't disrespect anybody. For one, I know you. I know your heart. You've got a good heart.
I agree, and that's the same thing. I think you have a great heart.
And I think Rabbi is friggin' got a great heart, and so does Jason. And you know me. I think the best of everybody. I don't. The only person I don't like that I didn't really like was Dragon. That's for another day.
None of us like Dragon.
And
I think it's coming down to the point where none of us really like Queen because she had said some pretty horrible things.
No.
Like if it comes down to the fact that she had called Jason a faggot, and that his religion wouldn't accept him anyways. She had called me a pedophilic, racist, to the point where the reason she had said that is because I said that Tommy Loren, and who I don't I don't agree with Tom. I think Tommy Loren's a racist. I think she's a horrible person. But what I had said was, yeah, I would hate fuck her because I think that she's number one. She's beautiful, but I would, I hate her fucking guts. So yeah, that's why when I said hate fuck, that's what it comes down to. Like, yeah, I hate her, but I would fuck her. So that's where the hate fuck, because somebody had left a message saying, "Oh, you said you would hate fuck her," and it was like, yeah, like, do you not know what hate fuck means? It means I hate her, but yeah, I would fuck her, and I would make her pay for every sort of bullshit that she had ever said.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people that say bullshit on, when they get in front of a camera or on a phone or something like that, or whatever you call it. Okay, Rabbi, you weren't chiming in here a whole lot.
No, Rabbi's sitting back and listening. Rabbi, go ahead and talk, man. Unless he's sleeping.
Right now,
Which I don't know if he is or not.
Oh. Come back here.
Rabbi.
Rabbi. Is he playing with his phone?
He might be. I hope it's his phone.
No, I mean, anyways, I love you guys, and I just so everybody knows, we don't always get along.
Well, it's not. It's so much we don't get along. The way I look at it is, we do get along. We get along fine.
We just don't always agree.
we debate, and having a good debate there's nothing unhealthy about that.
Oh no, and I listen to your point of views,
and I listen to your point of views.
And the funny thing is I think part of the reason why our views are so different is because of, our lifestyles are so different. You you work in the social network, and you work in the, not social media network people. There's a difference.
No, I actually work in the social field, and that obviously is going to make me,
it's going to
partial.
definitely.
It's gonna make me partial to. I think that money needs to be dumped into the social field.
Yeah, and it's gonna, part of the reason why it puts us at odds is because I also look at it from a different perspective, which is, a military, perspective, and looking at people's safety. Not just from a military point of view, but from, yes, the police, the lifestyles of the, policemen, and this is where we're always going to kind of come into conflict with this kind of stuff. But at the same time, we do see each other's points of views 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, it's not. For me, it's not only 9 times out of 10. It's almost 10 times out of 10 where I agree that more money should be dumped to the police. The way I look at it is, more money should be dumped into almost everything, because we live in the richest. We live in the richest country in the world.
Yeah, we do. We live in one of the richest countries in the world, but I think part of our problem is we're dumping our money in the wrong places.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. We're dumping our money into some of the stupidest things in the world.
For one, and I know I'm going to catch slack for this if people actually watch this channel and listen to what I say. I don't think we should.
Well, no, lots of people watch this.
I think channel. I don't think we should be dumping our money into welfare. I'm sorry, I don't agree with it.
I know that's where you and I disagree. It's not so much that I don't think we should be dumping our money into welfare. I think that, you know, I would actually agree with that when it comes to welfare. I don't think we should be dumping our money into welfare, but I think we should definitely be dumping our money into Social Security and Social Security disability.
I think if we took all the money we dump into welfare to keep people who are not working right now and living off the government and take that money and put it into our healthcare system, I think it would be a better place for us. But that's just my opinion.
Oh no, I agree. It depends on what you're considering welfare, because
No, I'm talking about the
if I came down to, just plain out welfare, I mean, corporate welfare takes up 50% of all of welfare.
It's. I don't think we should sit here and be paying people to have children.
Like, would you say that we should give, the top, the top 100 country, not the top 100 countries, but the top 100 companies? Do you think that we should cut them like serious tax breaks to the point that, it's into the hundreds of millions of dollars?
Well,
especially when they're making record profits of billions and billions of dollars.
Well, you know how they're making those record profits, though. A lot of those.
Yeah, they're selling ridiculous goods at a ridiculous price. So why should we, the United States, the people of the United States, have to subsidize their, not wanting to pay taxes?
Not wanting to pay taxes on what?
Just not wanting to pay taxes.
Well,
okay. Period.
Well, see, the thing is part of the reason why most of these companies, and I don't know how it is where you are, but I have.
It's not just where I am; it's throughout the entire country.
I have some friends who live down the street that are actually from the Rust Belt, up in the Rust Belt area, that they don't have jobs.
I live in the Rust Belt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That don't have jobs, and right now they're getting what you call it, docked because of Obamacare or some shit like that. Because they don't have the money for the insurance. These people are working 2 and 3 jobs just to try to stay afloat.
But let's say, like, when somebody gets a job for Walmart, and Walmart says, okay, we can put you in at 36 hours a week, but also here's a membership for, food stamps and medical, because we're not going to pay that. Even though Walmart's one of the largest corporations in the world, and Walmart very much could afford to pay their employees. They could not only afford to pay their employees more, they could afford to pay their employees to the point where, they could afford to pay their, not just pay their insurance, but let's say they paid 75% of their insurance. Let's say if they paid them a living wage, it would go to the point where they wouldn't have to rely on food stamps, where, when they're paying their employees, depending on which state, because that all depends on state minimum wage, they could, they could afford to pay their employees. I mean, especially Walmart, they could afford, especially when it's like I go back to like Germany.
Mhm.
Germany, for some, it's just because it's the law in Germany that every single person that works for Walmart in Germany is under a union, and those particular people get paid $16 to $17 an hour, or Deutschmarks, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Mhm.
And they're all 100% covered under union. They're all 100% covered under healthcare. And has that hurt Walmart's bottom dollar? Absolutely not. But they won't do that in any other country. And in this country, they treat their workers like shit. I mean, let's just be real. They do. They don't treat their employees well. It's almost like they pay them enough so they can shop at Walmart.
Well, part of the reason why is because of the people that they hire.
Well, I mean, let's say they started hiring people with bachelor's degrees or above. I don't think things would change,
No,
especially.
it's called the work ethic. The work ethic of the people today is nothing what it used to be.
But every time I go to Walmart,
and
everybody's very cordial and
hey.
very nice.
This goes back to the SJWs, okay? This goes back to the SJWs. Part of the reason why the Walmart employees, and I have, my sister-in-law worked for Walmart.
Right.
All right. And the thing is you can't get anything done properly without somebody complaining about something. It's people complaining, well, this is wrong and that is wrong. And when you work in a situation where you have people that do nothing but complain, it's kind of hard to try to want to do anything for these people.
No,
I
100% agree with that. Can you give me like 20 seconds so I can use the restroom?
Okay.
I don't mean to be an asshole, but it's either that or I'm going to piss my pants, and I don't want to piss my pants.
I'm going to drop off now, actually.
All right, man.
Okay, Jason. Even though it's hard to understand you because your microphone's screwing up again, I think you said you were about to go.
Yes.
Okay.
Jason, it was nice talking with you. Oh, hey, you going to start doing some Tai Chi with me, man?
Jason the Wookiee. I'll be back in, like I said, I'll be back in 20 seconds. And Jason, if you're gone by the time I get back, Wookiee on, Wookiee.
Rabbi, you still there? Can't hear you, man.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh. I love Josh. He's so funny. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem with our society today. I don't know. What do you think?
It's just a mess, combination of things. On one end, you have those that what they're taking it to. The other end, you have corruption when it comes to corporations and the propaganda of fake news. Switzerland in.
Yeah. I honestly think it's a combination of all of it. I don't think it's just one man that's the problem. I think it's the entire government that's the problem, and the elites, or I think that's what everybody's calling them, the one percenters, the ones that are super billionaires that have control over so much.
Trump, he's the wild card that they're looking for
Mhm.
early on. I called it during early during the election that Trump was going to win.
Yeah, well, you and I both called it. We both called it. We said Trump's going to win it. You know, I personally didn't want him as a Republican, representative, but he won the he won it, and he is more of a figurehead than he is anything else. So. What's with the sad faces, Night Hawk?
I hear you talking.
Rabbi
Who
was
is
talking
you?
to me.
Oh, Rabbi?
Mhm.
What do you have to say, Rabbi?
Yeah, I'll talk about Trump.
What were you saying about Trump?
Where were
I was gone, so I didn't hear it.
yeah, discussing about the problems. It's a combination of things, not just one person. You got corruption when it comes to the government, and then you have just foolish people that want their cake and eat it too. That's what was going on about.
No, go on, man.
Um, one thing that they're showing to the people, I don't think people have cast a caught it yet, is that Trump being a businessman, putting in that position as president,
Mhm.
really goes to show that the United States is indeed a corporation. They're basically subliminally telling you that we are a corporation, a federal corporation, and it's in the United States code and the number. But that's what they're basically telling it to the people if they're too wrapped up in other things.
Mhm.
And I completely agree with you. The I think and I'm not sure what exactly you're. I mean, I do in a part understand what you're saying, but the country, to me, anyways, shouldn't be run like a corporation. The country's the country, and we should treat our citizens accordingly. If we start treating our country like a corporation, things um, they start going downhill pretty quick, especially when it comes to the poorest of the poorest. They're going to get left behind pretty quick. That's my take on it anyway. What's your take on it, man?
Yeah, it's been well as a corporation. I think um, they're bringing it more out in subtle ways. Um, Trump is that example. Like I was saying, he's the wild card to those in the background, so to speak. based off of the responses that he's been getting past couple of months. It'd be interesting to see what actions with all the his administration and those that behind the scenes will be taking throughout these years. Uh, it's been as a corporation, as I was saying, about looking at it right now, according to Title 28 USC 3002, Section 15, it will say that the United States is a corporation and not necessarily as the government.
I'm sorry.
I would say that there's part of the truth in what you were saying. There's definitely part of the truth, but I also, in my heart of heart, believe that the country cannot operate as a corporation. It's, the way I look at it is, from what you're saying is, and I don't know if this is exactly what you're saying, is I will give, like I had said before, I had said to Coffee, I will give the man, 100 days. And if he has bullshit to say after 100 days, if he fucks up in 100 days, like, I'm going to go after him hardcore. But, if he does great, great for me. I think that, if a president does, great, more power to me, because that president is doing good for me. So I don't wish, Trump to be a bad president. I wish him to be a good president, because the better president that he is, the better president he is for me. But if he does some hinky shit, then, he's not going to be, the president for me.
Well, every president does hanky shit. Politicians are hanky.
Oh, I agree. But, Trump is when he came in, he said he was not going to be the typical politician.
Well, and we don't, and this is where, I can't say, we all know my husband doesn't like Obama, and I'm not exactly crazy about him either. But at the same time,
well, he's no longer president, but I was actually a big fan, not a huge fan.
But at the same time, we're not in the White House. We don't see everything that goes on. We only see what is presented to us on the news, and what few people can manage to leak shit out. This is part of the reason why it's I'm one of these people. Okay, they're up there. They're dealing with all kinds of crazy shit. I'm worried about what's going on down here. Because I'm at the bottom level. Well, not the bottom level, but
we're pretty much at the bottom level, though. I mean,
yeah.
we don't really know what the hell goes on in the upper echelon of government.
And I just pray and hope that they can at least. I don't think we need to get like 50,000 more troops. I would like to see our troops increase a little bit. That way, if something does happen, when the shit does hit the fan, if it does hit the fan, in my lifetime, we have enough to where we can at least defend ourselves. Right now, we don't have that.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We really do. We have.
Have you seen the equipment have you seen the equipment that our soldiers have to work with?
Yes.
Mm.
I absolutely do, and I think our military is the number one technological military when it comes to any military in the world. I mean, when it comes to, like, say, ISIS, for example, or ISIL, whatever the fuck they want to call it. I know it's ridiculous because, you know, two names, whatever, it's the same thing. You know, ISIS is pretty much destroyed at this point. And I am going to be very upset if, you know, in a year's time from now, if Trump claims victory over ISIS when it wasn't him, it was Obama. So I would be upset. I would be like, you know, don't take credit unless you are willing to say that, you know, the guy before you, you know, pretty much was the one that was ordering a ridiculous amount of drone strikes against these people. So it's more like, you know, share the credit.
Yeah. Well, either way,
Because
I mean, right now,
nobody has been more. And I know, you know, there's been the retards that have said, "Oh, Obama's a Muslim," which he's not. But even if he was, who really gave a fuck? Even though he's not.
Gone.
It was very much like, okay, there's been no president, George W. Bush included, that has gone after ISIS the way that Obama has gone after ISIS.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of collateral damage, which, yeah, there's been a lot of, he has bombed the living fuck out of ISIS, you know, back into the Stone Age. So if in a year from now, if ISIS is completely defeated, I don't want Trump to say, you know, it was all me. Which it clearly wasn't. It wasn't all him. If he was able to clear, you know, ISIS out in a year, I mean, it's just not the way it is.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, there's, like I said, fundamental differences between myself and Donald Trump. Do I think he's going to be a bad president? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be a bad president. He hasn't been president very long.
Yeah.
He may end up being a great president. I doubt it, but he may end up being a great president. Did I think that Obama was going to be a fantastic president? No, but, you know, I waited and I thought, number one, he wasn't a fantastic president. I thought he was an okay president, and that's what I'm kind of like hoping, like, Donald Trump is an okay president. Like, I'm just hoping he's not a bad president. Like, George W. Bush was a bad president. I just don't want Donald Trump to be another George W. Bush. Like, I'm hoping that, you know, we had our George W. Bush, and then we had our Obama, and I'm,
you know what I want?
Really hoping that Trump's not the same. He's not George W. Bush.
You know what I'm hoping that we can just kind of get rid of altogether, and we can actually just get on with our happy lives.
Well, yeah, I mean that would be fine.
No. I'm talking about, you know, the whole media thing, because I mean lately we've been so busy tiptoeing around each other. Exactly.
I agree. I think that if we all could be, you know, Republican, Democrat, Independent, if we could all, and it was actually funny. I was just talking to one of my, he's actually a pretty close friend. He is a hardcore Republican. And if he and I can come to common ground on a great many things, which we've come to common ground on a great many things, then I think that would do the world a much better service, not just the world, but the United States.
Yeah, if we could just come to common ground on the what you call it, as far as United, our country goes, we're so busy focusing on everybody else, and we're so
I
busy
agree.
focusing on, you know, tiptoeing, and politics is doing the same thing. And this is why I say I can't sit here and say I'm 100% about Obama, because I'm not. You know,
Right, right.
um, I was not very.
I wasn't 100% about Obama. I
I
never have been.
I really don't think he should have been. I don't think he should have been our first black president. To be honest with you, I think we could have done better. But that's who everybody voted for. So that's neither here.
That's where you and I differ, because if you are saying that our first black president should have been, and I don't know if you're saying this or not, but if you think that Ben Carson would have made a better president,
No. I'm not saying him. I think
Ben
think
Ben Carson is out of his. Well, he's not. If I were to have brain surgery, that would be the guy that I would want.
I
But
just definitely
as far as president, no. That guy's eyes were closed most of the time he was talking. One of the most boring motherfuckers in the world.
Ben Stein.
Oh, he was so boring.
But what makes me mad is the fact that we got to this point. I didn't realize how yeah, I live under a rock basically. I don't pay attention to news usually because I really don't give a rat's ass. Unless it affects me directly, which usually involves my husband, then that's when I pay attention. And
That's I don't want to say that's unfortunate, because your husband's in the military.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, there is a great part of you that has to go along with his politics as well.
No,
but
my husband and I sometimes our politics don't. We don't.
I was about to say, being that he's in the military, you could always, even if he got ticked off, that you felt one way or the other, you could always say, yeah, this is the way it's going to be. And then when you went in to vote, you could vote any way you wanted. That's the way I had always told my parents and my grandparents. Like my grandmother, she was a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
And she would always want me to vote a certain way. And I'd be like, oh yeah, grandma, like no problem. That's exactly how I'm going to vote for. And then when I get into the voting booth, I'd be like, yeah, okay, grandma. Here's who I'm voting for.
Oh my god, this is probably one of the most ridiculous signs I've seen a feminist have. As a woman, I hope one day I have as many rights as a gun.
As a gun?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. It's her sign.
Who said this?
It's on one of the signs from feminists that was in the march.
Oh, just go back to that. Fuck feminists. They as much rights as a gun. Number one, they already have is in the Western world. They have as much rights as a gun. They can have, for example, my aunt. She has her conceal and carry permit.
Uh-huh.
She is a gun owner. So when I hear like people say like things like that, It's like, really, I know so many women that have just all women in the Western hemisphere at least have just as many rights as a man. And for women to say, "Oh, we live in a rape culture," well, we don't live in a rape culture, because a rape culture would say, "Oh yeah, rape's cool. Like, yeah, homie, daps. I give you daps because you just raped a fucking bitch." That's not the way it is. There are serious crimes in effect if you were to sexually assault somebody, and vice versa. I mean, I know it's not reported as much, which it should be, where men are sexually assaulted, and they're more sexually assaulted in prison. And if you go to the men, don't say that they were sexually assaulted, even though that if it comes down to sexual assault, men are more sexually assaulted than women. And it's gone on the surveys, and it's horrible. And women, not to count them out, because women are definitely sexually assaulted, but for them to discount men, it's not just almost, it is sickening.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Because
this
men can definitely be the victims of sexually assault themselves.
Yeah.
Especially if they're in prison and it's not a huge crime, that the reason they're in for maybe selling, slanging some dope on the side, and they're getting railed in the ass by Bubba. Then that's sexual assault, brother.
Well, if y'all have a topic in the news that you want to talk, I can't say I'm always going to be able to join like tonight, but give me a heads up. Let me know.
Oh yeah, tonight it was all supposed to be about Gamergate, and the only reason it had changed was because some assholes in the chat were making fun of you and making fun of Rabbi, and saying some like I had said when I had just a few days ago that Queen, and I won't even say her, Nikki and Nigel were saying some pretty horrible things about me.
Mhm.
Now they have gone on to say some pretty horrible horrible things about you guys.
Yeah, well, that's her right to say what she wants.
Oh, it's her right, but it can't help, especially for over a year where they've been nothing but nice, to say, you know, to say what a to say it kind of hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts my feelings in a way. I know, the whole thing is fuck your feelings, but hey, over a year when somebody's been nothing but nice to you, and then they have to say something really, really bad about you, it's like, eh, not fuck my feelings. It's more like, you really hurt my feelings.
Okay.
Just like you had, somebody say chink, and Rabbi, he was a nigger, and it was like, and that's what, Queen had said in her last and like I said, I haven't watched her thing in a few days, and just like Jason was saying, he hasn't watched it in a few days. She was saying that Josh is pissed off because, I'm sorry, not Josh, but white boy Josh is pissed off because I would let him say nigga. And it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This was back a year ago when you had called Tommy and I was in the background and I had said, stomp the bitch out of you. And he was saying, put the nigga on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that was all about. And all of a sudden it turned into, over a year, while it was all fun and games, all of a sudden she took issue with it. But she didn't. She took issue with it because, as you had said, that it was probably Lotto. And that's why the last, and I said I wasn't going to make another video against them. Jason and I were just like, hey, you know what, Queen? You know what, Nikki? Let's really spill some tea. While you were locked up, Nikki was talking about letting another guy come inside of her. A guy that looked very, very much like you, as a matter of fact. Oh no, we went hardcore. We were just number one speaking the truth.
Yeah, well.
It was like, don't come at me with I'm a pedophilic racist, especially if you say something like that. Like, I'm gonna come after you with like hardcore. Like, you told me, and not just me, you told the entire room, your bullshit. Especially when you start crying and crying and crying. That's why I was upset when I saw the chat, go into y'all some niggas, y'all, like you said, somebody said chink.
Yeah, well, that shit doesn't bother me anymore. I don't care.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
It doesn't bother me, and to be honest with you, I think it's part of our problem today is we let too many things bother us or get to us.
Number one, I completely agree. Completely agree. But if somebody is going to say something, then be prepared to, have some bullshit thrown back at you.
Yeah.
And it's not just bullshit, but it's gonna be the truth. Because, hey, she did say it, so I am, I'm not like making it up. And unfortunately, I had to say it, and it was like, yo, again, she hurt my feelings, and she hurt Jason's feelings. I mean, out of nowhere, she said this shit about me, and then she called Jason a faggot. So yeah, we kind of went on the attack.
Yeah.
Like, you said all these horrible things about us, so let's be, which were untrue, but we're going to say things about you that are 100% totally true. And like I said, it hurt our feelings because we didn't want to have to do that. It was more like, let's just be civilized. Like, we went through days where we were expecting, Queen to apologize for the things that she had said, and she never did. As a matter of fact, I made a overture of an olive branch, and I was like, "Hey, if you apologize for the things that you said, I'm extending an olive branch. You know, let's just get over get it over with or whatever." And the next thing that she had said was, "I spit on your olive branch." And when somebody's trying to offer you an olive branch where they're trying to say, "Hey, let's be cool," the last thing that you want to say is, "I spit on your olive branch." It's like, I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be like, let's get this over with. You know, let's be friends again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it pissed me off. So yeah, we went after her pretty hard. And we only went after she made like a 2.5 hour video. I think Jason and I made like a 19-minute video. Where it was like, yo, this is the way it is. So yeah, we were upset. But this video was supposed to be about Gamergate. It was supposed to be about Gamergate, and we got some ridiculous people in the chat room.
Oh, well, there's always going to be trolls.
Well, the LA Gamer Radio,
Mhm.
one of the people that I blocked, number one, he hates Whitey. He is a black supremacist,
Mhm.
and he hates anybody who's down with Whitey. So, of course, Rabbi, he was a coon, or, a nigger, and you were a chink.
Mhm.
So that's that's the kind of person he is. He's a horrible, horrible person. But okay. Anyway, Gamergate again. Fuck the feminazis. um, Gamergate. It was a failed solution to nothing, because we still get to watch, women in video games be as half butt naked as possible, and I think both men and women love it because it's a video game. So I am going to, and I don't know what else to say other than, yeah, it's a failed proposition. It
Yeah.
always has been.
Oh, it always will be.
So if there's anything you have to say more,
No, not really.
that's cool. The only reason I say is because I'm gonna go ahead and end this because we're still live.
Oh. Well, you can edit it, right?
Well, I can edit it, but I don't know what exactly I would edit. Oh, Jason said Queen was live at the 1:30. Well, fuck her. I don't care if she was live.
That's fine. It's her channel.
It's her channel. She's entitled to her opinion. If she wants to say whatever she wants to say, bully for her. But if there's anything more you want to say, go ahead and say it.
No.
It's just about Gamergate.
Oh, yeah, Gamergate. I can tell you right now. That's one. The gamer community. You SJWs, you may as well hang it up. Because you are not just going against the gamers in the United States. You're going against the gamers across the world.
Thank you. I 100% agree with that.
It's, you don't want to
That
take
can't
that
be
much.
stopped. That can't be stopped.
No.
Men and women, we not only do we like our women half nakedly, scantily, clad. That's just the way video games have always been.
Yeah, you're fighting about it. You're not gonna win.
Nope.
Just take your fucking politics and shove it up where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, it's don't try to ruin our fun
But anyways,
because that we like what we like and nobody's gonna stop that.
that's my fantasy world, so you ain't messing with my fantasy world.
Damn Scoopy.
Anyways, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, man.
I know. It's 2 a.m. here too, and I gotta be at work at 7. So it was good talking to you. I know Rabbi, he might be sleeping. Rabbi, I don't know if you're sleeping or not. Well, I'm gonna guess he's sleeping. Jason, he had to go to bed because he has to be at school early in the morning. But yeah, it was good talking to you guys, and I hope that next weekend, because I'll be awake on the weekend, not during the week, to do another show.
That sounds good. I will probably be. Oh, what's next weekend? Oh, it's my son's birthday next weekend, so.
Oh, well, maybe you won't be able to, unless it's. Do you know what day? Or do you know what day? What day is your son's birthday?
My son's birthday is on Friday, but I don't think we'll do anything till Saturday. If you do another late night show on like Sunday, I might be able to join.
Yeah, even tonight's show wasn't supposed to be as late as it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was me screwing up the. It was me, and I'm gonna have to go back through and delete the stupid shit that didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Well, it was good talking to you, Coffee, and it was good talking to Jason and Rabbi and everybody else.
Yep.
And I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, later, man.
All right. Good night, guys.